welcome to an Inquisitive Crafter, episode 8. I finally finished a blanket. We're calling this episode 8 because episode 7 was my, what I called my year in review, although I didn't label it on YouTube as episode 7. But this is episode 8. It is January 27th. It is Saturday afternoon, almost 2 o'clock, I think. It is a nice, sunny, cold-ish, cool day here in the Dallas, Texas area, and I have a lot to talk about. I have been AWOL on every social media, whatever. I mean, I'm not very active on social media, but just been out of it because of several things. First of all, I went back to work on January 8th, and on January 11th, had to take my husband into the hospital for an infection. He did not come out of the hospital for 2 weeks, so he got out on Wednesday. What's the 27th, 26th, 27th, 24th? January 24th. So he was in there for 2 weeks. He is still recuperating. I don't know that he wants me to tell you what's all happening, but it's been not a fun time. My father-in-law, who has lived with us for almost 9 years, has had to be moved to a nursing home just because it's just been impossible to care for him and care for my husband now. So he's been moved to a nursing home. That's bringing some good changes in our life and hopefully good changes for him too. And while all this stuff was going on, my daughter, I have 3 kids. My name's Susie, by the way. She has been participating in her high school musical. She's a senior this year, and she was acting as the fairy godmother in the musical Descendants, and that just wrapped up last night. So it's been super busy, super worrying and frustrating, but now I think we're on the hind end of that, and everything's gonna look up. It's easy to look up and feel bright about things when it's so sunny outside. My brother gave me a ring light for Christmas, so that is what I am using to film today. So hopefully the lighting is really good, although it is, I don't know about all this, but whatever. And my sister gave me a podcast planning journal, so I've got my notes in there. So really excited about that. Maybe I'll be super organized. That'll be nice. Okay. Oh, and then the last thing is I teach middle school. This is my 30th year to teach. And for the last several years, I've had a crochet club. Well, last year I didn't have it, and maybe post-COVID I didn't have it, but I was teaching it in class. I'm an orchestra teacher, but when we came back after COVID and half the kids were virtual and half the kids were present, I just started teaching it at the end of some of the lessons. But we haven't had Crochet Club in a couple of years, and I started Crochet Club back up. I have several girls who are interested in crochet and who are crocheting. No boys yet. They've expressed some interest, but I've only had one club meeting and just girls have shown up. After many years of trial and error in Crochet Club on how to teach, I've figured out a way that works for me, so hopefully it will continue to work this way. When I learned how to crochet when I was in middle school. I taught myself how to crochet. But then when I became an adult, I took crochet lessons, because I needed an outlet that didn't involve changing diapers, because I had little kids at the time and I just needed some me time. So I took classes, and the way my teacher taught me is you make a swatch. You make a practice piece, and the piece serves no purpose except to form stitches on. So I learned how to chain, I learned how to single crochet, did that for several rows, did rows of half double, did rows of double, learned how to do triple, then learned how to work in made a hat. So that's the way I learned how, and that's the way I used to when I started teaching. That's the way I taught my kids. I get closer to the camera. And they didn't like it. They got bored with it. It was really frustrating for them. And so I figured out they need projects. They need projects right away. So how can I teach them the skills they need and still have a project? Well, this year because we're starting in January, we are doing fingerless mitts. So they're making, let me see, just in case you don't crochet or knit, but this is crochet. Basically, you're making a piece of fabric, single crochet, so they learn how to chain, or sometimes I chain for them and then do a row and then they start crocheting because that's easier. And they chained 33, so their stitching is 32 stitches. They're gonna do single crochet until their piece is big enough for them to fold over their hand. I'm trying to do this with this washcloth. This is not the project. This is just something I happen to have. Then we'll stitch it up here, leave a hole for the thumb, continue stitching, hole for fingers, and then they have a fingerless mitt, and they've completed a project that's going to be really satisfactory for them, and it teaches them the single crochet. Now, some of my students maybe will throw in some half double in this, maybe not, I don't know. Our next meeting is Thursday, so we'll see how far people have come. Some kids have been coming by and showing me. I mean, I teach most of them because I didn't open it up to the school. I opened it up to kids in my classes because it's easier to teach a small group first, and then they can help me teach another group. So I told the kids they could invite a friend. And so we only had 2 friends come with 7 kids for this first group. And then I'm gonna see how we are next week, and then I'll tell them if they want to invite somebody else, they can invite somebody else. They provide the hook. If they don't have yarn, I have tons of yarn, so I'm providing the yarn, but it's good if they buy their own yarn. And our first meeting was a lot of fun. So that's what we're doing for Crochet Club. So that's my life happenings. Let's move on to what I've finished. Okay, my big thing, I guess, is my Hodgepodge Blanket. In 2016, I began, here's my blanket, I began the Moogly Afghan. Moogly does a square a month, maybe 2 squares a month, and I completed 2 squares and they were hard. I went and bought all the yarn for it. I was all gung-ho, so I completed this square. That was really nice. And then I completed, I'm not even sure which is the front. I'm saying this is the front, but I'm not sure. This square. This was tough. This was tough. I hated it. It didn't count right. I ended up, to make this, I had to add some stuff on the edges, but I just didn't like it. And I was getting frustrated. And this first square was hard. Not as hard as the second square, but I thought if all of them are going to be like that, I'm not going to enjoy this. I just don't want to do it. So I set it aside. That was in 2016. Well, then in 2022, my buddy Rebecca and I were working on the Maria's Blue Crayon Summer Crochet Along. And she was doing like a square a week, I think a square a week. And so we completed several squares, and then I didn't do anything with them. None of the squares were the same size. They just weren't the same size. And there were just other things to do. So I set those aside with the intention of completing it. Well, then I just needed to get some stuff done in January. I needed a whip. We had a whip challenge, a work in progress challenge in Down Cellar Studio. That's what did it. And I tried to complete several other work in progress, and I wasn't getting anywhere with them. My Genesis cardigan, still not done with that. So I decided I'm just going to finish this because all I need to do is maybe crochet some extra around a couple of the squares and then crochet them together. So here it is. The squares are still not blocked. Like, I flattened them, pressed on them. I don't even think I wet them or any of that. I think I just kind of guesstimated how it worked. And what I ended up doing is I think I have a picture. I'll put in a picture here. Maybe. Can I split in the middle of a video? I'll put in a picture somewhere. But I looked at the squares, and then I put them in by like, okay, all of these squares are really wide, so I'm gonna put those in the middle, and then these are narrower, so I did it that way. So that each row was about the same width, but not necessarily with the square next to it. So here it is. Let me just show. It's a light gray, a dark gray, like a seafoam green, and then I have some, oh, there's that one at the end. And then here's the middle section. A darker tealy color. There's that other square. That one. Using up my odds and ends, and then my last row. Did that work out? How did I show that twice? Oh, here's my last row. I'm like, how did I have that square twice? Here's my last row. Okay, that one. This one. This one. And that one. I crocheted them together so that you can't really see the white. And I don't like that side. I like this side that has shows the crochet seam. So what do? Do I take it out? No, I don't rip out. Or try not to. I mean, I do, but I don't like to. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut out this square, like cut the binding seam, and then I'm going to flip this square around and then redo. I think I can do that without screwing it up, messing it up too bad. I think, but I'm not ready to do that yet. May wait till the summer when it's really light. I think better in the summer and the spring. In the winter, there's not too many thinking hours in there for me. I think I have that seasonal depression. Maybe I have seasonal non-thinking. That could be like all the time non-thinking actually. But anyway, don't you think this looks nicer? Now my seaming is not great, but I don't care. This blanket, my family, my brothers always tease me that, and my kids, that my crochet is not warm because it all has holes in it. But if you put this over another blanket, it is so toasty. It's thick and fleshy. It's a worsted weight yarn, just a, I don't know what it was. It may have been, I love this yarn from Hobby Lobby, or it might have been Red Heart Soft. Might have been Red Heart Soft that I made this with. So anyway, I've used up like almost every bit of what I had. I have some dark gray left that I'm going to use to make a project for Sarah, my daughter. And then I've got some of this teal color left. I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but this color, aqua color. Well, I don't know, whatever this color is, seafoam. So anyway, I'm calling this my Hodgepodge Blanket. Originally, I was kind of embarrassed by it, but now I love it and I don't care. I made it and it's yarn out of my stash and it's a project that is completed. I got my points for the whip down and it's done. So that's pretty good. Okay, the second thing that I have completed, and I'll just have to put a picture in here and a video, is of my Cobblestone hat that was also, this was the Q4 challenge for Down Cellar Studios Pigskin Party. And you had to complete a cabled project or a faux cabled project, crochet or knit. I chose to crochet that. Oh, and that blanket was all crochet. Did I say that? It was all crochet. That had to be 200 yards. Well, I have talked about this in the past, but I have beautiful yarn that I want to use. It's a lot of fingering weight, and I needed a bulky weight project because I needed to get it done fast, because my Q3 challenge I never finished. In fact, just today I ripped out part of it so I could, oh, my hair's driving me crazy, so I could fix a major glaring error, 2 errors in it. And so I didn't finish that, and that was supposed to be done in November. I was supposed to finish that in November. So I needed something I could get done. I needed some projects I could finish. So I found Stephen West had a video. I don't know when this video was done, but it was for Knit Stars, and it shows how you can take fingering weight yarn, hold it triple to make bulky weight, which is great. And the best part is it's one ball or skein of yarn that you don't have to cut. I'm not pulling from the inside and the outside. I'm not having to wind up 3 equal sizes of balls to hold the yarn triple. I can do this with the one strand and then fix it so it's triple. I don't have to pre-do it. Like, I could do a little bit. I'm going to show you in this video. It is so cool, and the hat turned out great. I did not block it. I decided to give it to my band director buddy. It was her birthday, and so I finished it up and gave it to her, and I thought it looked fine, not blocked. I couldn't tell really a difference in the pictures of other people's projects on Ravelry, like what the difference was blocked and unblocked. It didn't seem like it mattered. I mean, it did matter. It made it stretch out more, but I didn't see, oh, I really like this version versus this version. So I stuck a pom-pom on it and gave it to her at lunch. We had a birthday lunch for her. She looks at it. I don't wrap anything. I just throw things at people here. Have this thing. And she looks at it. Now, she was trying to get her baked potato together. And she goes, oh, thanks. And she puts it down. And I'm like, oh, okay. That didn't go so well. Well, then the next period, she had it on in the hallway. She was standing in the hallway greeting her students, and she was wearing that hat. She did not take it off the rest of the day. And then teachers, when I was at bus duty, teachers came out and found me and said, I saw that hat you made for Saffel. So I thought that was great. That made me super happy. That I completed it, and it used up an entire 437 plus. I had to dip into a second skein of fingering weight yarn. So that is amazing. What a great thing. What a great thing. It took me 3 days to make. 4 days to make. 4 days to make. I finished it the day of her birthday, right before her birthday lunch. I was like working on it, standing in the hall, greeting students, ducking back into my little alcovey part of my hall whenever she'd step out, because we're neighbors in our school, and she never even noticed. But I was really happy. That was a great win. So somewhere in this video there'll be video and a picture of the hat. And then the third thing I completed was 2 dishcloths. They are supposed to already be to their intended recipients, but when my husband went in the hospital, all that went out the wayside. I completed these washcloths as my entry into Knitters Brewing Company's NFL and knitting group. And we do a contest where we pick, who's going to win each football game, yada yada, all that football stuff I don't understand. And anyway, what you're pledging to do is the winners for every week are mailed a dishcloth from somebody else. And so my week to send off my dishcloth had come, and my husband had gone to the hospital, and I've emailed and explained, and they're fine, but I got to get this stuff done. And I do have the dishcloths done, so now I just have to mail it. So I did 2 dishcloths. I did I'm looking at my notes over here. I did the Watery Ripples dishcloth. Using 2 different colors of some kind of cotton yarn that I think I got from Joann's, whatever their regular cotton is. Peaches and cream? I don't know. And one was a color changing or variegated, and one was a green. And so I can't say I super enjoyed this project, and I will never make this washcloth again, but I am glad I tried it. I'm very glad I tried it. I won't do it again. Should I block it? Probably, but I'm just going to trust that the envelope will block it and shove it in there. I made a little loop. So that's one. And then I made, I don't remember who did this, the coffee bean washcloth out of the green. Look at the little baubles. So that one's really nice. I like the edging of it. Little loop. I would make this one again. I really like it. It is very satisfying. I had a little bit of struggle like figuring out where to put the little puff stitches, but it all worked out, and they look great together. I think they look like matchy, a set, which is my dream life. Everything matches. Nothing, as you can tell, like in my room, like nothing matches. Nothing goes together, but whatever. All right, so that is what I have completed. All right, now on to what I am working on. Oh. Okay. So the first thing I'm working on, I'm holding in my Adore Knit 2023 pigskin party bag. It's an exclusive. I love this bag. I love the green. There were two options. I can't remember the other color option, but I wanted the green one. It's like a green and blue. I am making the Magic Heel Rib Socks by Autumn Acorn. I am using my, oh, my stuff's all tangled up. I am using my Freckled Whimsy Advent 2023 yarn. That I like to do my Advent yarns projects in January. So the idea was, oh, here's the her label. Freckled Whimsy. This is the contrast color that she gave, Serendipity. I'm doing this in a DK. I love her DK. I'm sure I'd love her fingering weight yarn, but I've never tried. But I like DK. And these socks are so squishy. So I'm supposed to be doing these 2 at a time. I'm doing these on Magic Loop. Here is my first sock. I have completed the cuff. I've completed the leg. This is the heel right there. And then I'm on the foot. So you do this squishy rib pattern. And then when you get to the heel, it's just like a 1x1 rib for the heel. And then you can keep going to the foot, and you don't ever have to do any weird stuff. I did her Magic Heel sock for last year's Advent yarn from Cozy Knitter. No, last year's was Freckled Whimsy also. I don't know. Anyway, 2 days ago. And I really liked it. It was very good. So I decided I wanted to do it again. And that way I didn't have to do the heel and break up my colors and make my stripes. So there's my first one. Here's my second one. I'm starting the heel. I just finished the leg. So, okay, let me pause a second and move my clothes out of the wash so my daughter can wash clothes. Okay, I'm back. I'm gonna switch my laundry over. Okay, so I am really enjoying these rib socks. They are harder than doing vanilla socks. I'll tell you that, which is usually what I do. But I'm looking forward to having them finished. My last year's Freckled Whimsy socks did not fit me, and I gave them to my sister. And I was happy to give her socks, but I was sad I didn't keep them because I've had the Cozy Knitter socks the year before and love those. And oh my gosh, you guys, let me tell you, I'm having such sorrow that I did not buy Cozy Knitter's Advent socks this year. I've seen everybody's projects and they look amazing. The socks look beautiful. And I really wish I had bought them, but I was trying to buy American and not Canadian. Not there's anything wrong with Canada. I was just trying to support my homeland. But I wish I'd also gotten a pair of those, but that's crazy. But if she ever does it again, I'm gonna get me those. Okay, so that is my Magic Heel rib socks. The next thing I've been working on is my Waymaker cowl. I'm irritated at this. My Waymaker cowl. Oh. Okay, this is in a cute bag that I got from my Delaque bag from my gnome advent. When I bought the gnome kit for Loopy U, they were supporting Sarah Shearer Imagine Landscapes. Oh, sorry, my clock is singing. Let's take a moment and listen, shall we? Okay, I'm gonna pause this. Okay, so my clock's done singing. So this is my Waymaker cowl that was supposed to be for my Q3 challenge. I am making this with Hypnotic yarn from my Yarnable from November, I think. I don't remember the colorway, but maybe it's September. I don't know. Anyway, I love it. I love that green. I love that orange. Okay, here's my Project Keeper from Down Cellar Studios. Well, it's from Adornus, but from the Pigskin Party. Okay, I think this has 6 stripes. 5 stripes, 6 stripes. I don't know. Anyway, I was done with the last little stripe. So then I just had a chunk of green to do and a chunk of orange, the ribbing, and then I'd be done. I worked on this. I haven't touched it in a little while, but I've decided I want to finish it before Pigskin Party's over because it'll give me some points. And plus, the cold weather's going to be over and then I won't care. So I want to get this done. And I really like the project. It's very beautiful and squishy. I worked on this quite a bit last night because I just pulled it back out. Worked on it last night during the musical that my daughter was in. Was very proud of how much work I'd got, like 1.5 inches done or something. I was really proud. I was knitting in the dark. That made me feel good. I didn't drop too many stitches. And then I look at it today and there's a huge hole in it that I was before last night. Like a big stitch has gotten stretched out or something. I thought, I don't care. I'll just weave something in. It'll work. Then I thought maybe I dropped stitches, and then I was looking at it and I was like, wait a minute, the reason the hole is there, well, I don't know if this is the reason the hole's there, but this is a combination of knit stitches and purl stitches, and I decided to not do the purl stitches after a while. I was just knitting, round and round knitting. And so I ripped out everything I'd done last night, which was half an orange stripe, a green stripe, an orange stripe, some green, like 2-3 rows of green, and then got down to the hole and fixed the hole and managed to not drop any more stitches. So I'm proud of that because knitting is not my strong suit. I'm a crocheter. I'd only dabble in knitting, but this looks really good. Look at that. Look at that. And it will be amazing. Oh, it's a little tight. This is going to be amazing when it's cold. I love these. They just sit against your neck and they're so warm. Anyway, so I'm determined to finish this. So stay tuned. I have a doctor's appointment to take my daughter to tomorrow. So I plan on taking this and getting a lot of work done and getting caught back up to where I was. So that's the Waymaker cowl. And then the third thing I'm working on is also an Advent project. And it is the squares for my Middle Earth granny blanket. So I showed you in my previous podcast, I was winding all of the yarn and I was really trying to do a square a day, and then my husband went in the hospital. So I'm into day 18 is where I am. So, and the same thing with the socks. I was trying to do a stripe on each sock a day, but then that totally fell apart when Mark went in the hospital. So I'm keeping this in another Adornus bag from Splash Pad party. Was it this? I think it was this summer, 2023. 2022. Yeah, 2022. And this yarn is Fiber Nymph Dye Works. Oh, I just flipped it. Fiber Nymph Dye Works Middle Earth collection. So here it is all together. And let me just show you. Every one is my favorite. This one. Oh, that's amazing looking. That squashy color with that green. This one, green, my favorite color. It's a dark one. This one, okay, this is hands down my very favorite, I promise. Look at that. I love the way the fire is just shooting out. I don't remember what this square stands for. She was telling a story about hobbits, and every yarn told a different part of the story. And I can't remember what this is, but God, I love that one. I really like that one. I would do a whole sweater in that if I knew how to do a sweater. These are all crochet granny squares. That's beautiful. This one's beautiful. Do you care looking at all these squares? I know you do. This one is beautiful, and I don't even like brown. But I love this brown. Look at that swirl. This one's cute. This icy blue one. Now, all of these squares are working out really even, which is good. And last year for Christmas, I got a blocker for squares. So in small project, this one is beautiful. Look at that. Look at the color. It's, I don't know if it's showing up here. It's like a purpley browny gray. Like this one. Now I would not want a whole blanket in this, but I like it as a square. This is gorgeous. Oh, this one. That's nice. That one's beautiful. And then my day 18. I don't know where it is, but I haven't gotten very far. Oh, that's all I've done. There you go. That's my day 18. And then I have, okay, here, this is how much I've had left over from every, oh, well, this is a pointless task because it's longer than I thought it was. I don't know how many yards all this is, but it's not very much left over. And so I'm just putting it in a magic knot ball, which I've never done. So I'm happy I'm learning all these new things. Yay, Inquisitive Crafter. And my plan is to then take the yarn from here and make it into more granny squares to fill in. This is not going to make a blanket. So what I want, well, I've never made a granny square blanket, so I don't know how long. I have no plan, and I don't like to do math. So my temporary plan is I'm going to figure out a yarn. I may send Lisa a message and ask her for if she can dye me a yarn or suggest yarn that'll go nicely with all these different colors, because I want to do like one of these granny squares and then a plain square, this colorful granny square, plain square, alternate, and then edge it in the same thing. And then that'll be bigger. But I don't actually know. I need to measure how big these are and see how much yarn, how do you make a blanket? How big does the blanket have to be? I decided I'm making this for my husband because I did the majority of these squares, it feels like, while he was in the hospital. So this is going to be his. And this is DK weight yarn because that's my favorite, apparently. Okay, so that is all my works in progress, but I am adding one more. I don't know what it's going to be. There's the stuff that goes with it. I threw it over here. Okay. I cannot find it, so I won't show it, but I have this shawl in the ball. Oh, that sounds really pretty. And I want to make a shawl for a friend of mine at work whose son passed away unexpectedly. I found out that he had passed away while I was in the hospital with Mark, and I just want to give her something. So I'm going to make a shawl with this. Now this is shawl in a ball yarn, and I was trying to find a label because I threw it over here on the bed, but I don't know. My aim is better than I thought. I don't know what happened to it. Anyway, I don't know. Like, it has a picture of a shawl on the label, but there's no, I thought the instructions were on the inside. There's no instructions. So I don't know. But I'm going to figure something out. One skein of yarn makes a whole shawl. This lady is not, she's a tiny lady, so I think it'll work really good for her. And that way she just knows I'm trying to give her a hug. So it'll be a prayer shawl. Maybe a virus shawl. I don't know. I'll have to see, but I bet it's going to be beautiful based on these purples. That's really pretty. So that is what I'm working on. My Genesis cardigan is hibernating until Pigskin Party is over because I need to be concentrating on things that I can get finished for points. Enough of this works in progress nonsense. I'm really tempted by Marley Bird's game day mystery knit along or crochet along. I have participated in that in the past. She does it for Super Bowl. I think it's for the whole weekend of Super Bowl, and I really kind of want to do that. But I don't want to do it because I want to see what it is. I don't know. I have enjoyed it in the past. I made one project I really, really loved. So I may just watch people do it. All right. Well, I hope you're not too bored by this whole long video. I missed you guys. I hope you're all well. Feel free to comment below and tell me how things are going with you. And is there anything you'd like to see from me going forward? Next video, I'm going to do my official year in review of all the things I've completed and where am I going from here. And it's going to be a hero planner unboxing. So pretty excited. All right, take care. I turn you off with my remote, but of course I've lost. Oh, here it is. There you go. I'll see you next time. Hello. So I am sitting in bed on a Saturday, knitting the Cobblestone Hat. I should have looked the title up before I did this, but it requires bulky weight yarn, and I want to use up my stash. I don't want to go buy any bulky weight yarn. Plus, in Down Cellar Studios Pigskin Party, we're doing a Q4 challenge where you have to do a cable or a faux cable, and you need 200 yards minimum in your project. So I was like, what do I want to do? Well, I'm trying to use my stash. I have all this lovely hypnotic yarn. So this is, this is Yarnable by Hypnotic Yarn. It is Raspberry Cream Plush Sock Fingering, 85/15 Superwash Merino and Nylon, 437 yards, 100 grams. And here's the colorway. It's all these beautiful pinks and a little bit of like a chocolatey brown that goes through it. So I saw this video on Stephen West from Knit Stars, I believe, and showing how you can use your stash and use fingering weight to create bulky weight yarn. So I don't want to do the whole video because it's his video and I'm borrowing it, but I'll put the link in, and I just wanted to show you that. So here I am. I'm supposed to have so many stitches on this hat for my foundation double crochet, and I've been knitting with yarn held triple. So there's the yarn held triple, but as you can see, I'm running out of triple. So I have a loop here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this long strand through the loop. So pull, 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 till I have a manageable length that I'm not going to tangle, that I can crochet with. And then I'm just going to hold it there. So there's my, sorry, I was pulling, you can't see anything. There's my yarn held triple, because it's the loop that I've just pulled plus the strand that is hanging from my ball of yarn. And now I can continue crochet, and it makes bulky weight yarn. I think that's so cool.